Good afternoon, class. So remember yesterday for our health lesson, we started discussing about social media, and we created a chart that graphed what social media platforms we use the most in our classroom. Does anybody remember the results of the chart that we created? Can anybody share with me? Right. We had TikTok came in first, Twitter came in second, YouTube came in third, Instagram came in fourth, and Facebook came in fifth place. So these are our top 5 in order social media platforms we use the most in our classroom. And remember these questions that I asked you after we created our chart? Can anybody remember the questions that I asked that I told you to discuss with your partner and write down on a sticky note? Yes. Okay, so the first question was, how much time do you usually spend on social media a day? Can anybody share with me what they discussed with their partner? Yes? So you said 3 or 4 hours after school usually? Somebody said 5 hours. That's a lot of hours. Wow, boys and girls. What was the next question? Does anybody remember? Yes, it was. Do you think social media has negative or positive influences in your life? What did we say? What did we discuss with our peers? Yeah, some of us said both, right? Some of us said negative. Okay. Yes, both. And our last question that I asked you guys was, how can social media affect your mental and emotional health? Can anybody share with me what they discussed with their partner? Yes. Yeah, it can cause you to be tired. It can make you stay up late at night. Yes, that's true. Lose sleep. It can make you feel self-conscious. That's true. It can be a distraction from you, make you procrastinate, not do your work. Yes, boys and girls, these are all good. And the reason I bring this up is because that's what we're gonna be learning about today, how social media affects us. And I don't know about you, boys and girls, but after our activity yesterday, I kind of realized that how many times I was reaching for my phone. And I told myself, wow, like, I really should cut down my screen time. So that's my new challenge for myself. I'm gonna try to cut down my screen time by at least an hour or 2 a week. Because I started realizing that I use social media more than what I actually thought I did. And that brings up my point that we're gonna be discussing today. Even though social media can have some good moments and bad moments, it brings us joy and laughter, and can also have some negative effects for us. The constant use of social media can actually cause us to be stressed. Yes, stress. So that's what we're gonna be learning about, boys and girls. We're gonna learn how social media can cause us to be stressed. And I'm gonna play this video for you guys in just a moment. I'll write that down. Social media and stress. It's an important topic today. I want to play a video for you guys, and I'll pass out sticky notes. And in this video, once this video plays, I want you to pay attention and at least list 3 factors that social media causes. 3 stress factors that social media causes. I want you to write 3 down. And then after, I'm gonna take up those sticky notes and we're gonna discuss what we watched, what we learned. So I really want you to pay attention. Here we go. Play this video.
I'm fat. Wow, I'm fat. She's She's only 19 years old. What am I doing with my life? Hey, 2 likes, nice. Do I like this photo? Does she really need more likes? Hey, I hope I'm gonna be invited to the wedding. What, 1 more like, nice. Welcome to the internal monologue of a typical social media scroll. A monologue that so many of us have every day, but we don't think about, we don't talk about it. In fact, many of us can't even recognize it happening. I'm Bailey Parnell, and I'm going to talk to you about the unintended consequences social media is having on your mental health. I'm going to show you what's stressing you out every day, what it's doing to you, and how you can craft a better experience for yourself online. Now, just over a year ago, my sister and I took a 4-day vacation to Jasper, Alberta. This was the first no-work vacation I had taken in 4 years. On this vacation, I was going dark. I was turning on airplane mode, no email, and no social media. For those of you doing the math, that's as young as 12 years old. First reaction was to take out my phone and post it on social, but of course it wasn't there. Now, the second day was a little bit easier. And you might be thinking I'm ridiculous, but I hadn't been completely disconnected in over 4 years. This was practically a new experience again. It wasn't until the 4th day I was there that I was finally comfortable without my phone. I was sitting with my sister, literally on the side of this mountain, when I started thinking to myself, what is social media doing to me? What is it doing to my peers? That was only 4 days, and it was anxiety-inducing. It was stressful, and it resulted in withdrawals. That's when I started to ask questions and have since started my master's research into this subject. You see, I've worked in social marketing, primarily in higher education, for most of my career. That means I work with a lot of 18 to 24-year-olds, which also happens to be the most active demographic on social media. The other thing you need to know about me is that I'm young enough to have grown up with social media, but just old enough to be able to critically engage with it in a way that 12-year-old me probably couldn't. So my life is social media, personally, professionally, and academically. And if it was doing this to me, what was it doing to everyone else? Well, I immediately found out I wasn't alone. The Center for Collegiate Mental Health found that the top 3 diagnoses on university campuses are anxiety, depression, and stress. And numerous studies from the US, Canada, the UK, you name it, have linked this high social media use with these high levels of anxiety and depression. But the scary thing is that high social media use is almost everyone I know. It's my friends, it's my family, my colleagues. 90% of 18 to 29-year-olds are on social media. We spend on average 2 hours a day there. We don't even eat for 2 hours a day. 70% of the Canadian population is on social media. Our voter turnout isn't even 70%. Anything we do this often is worthy of critical observation. Anything we spend this much time doing has lasting effects on us. So let me introduce you to 4 of the most common stressors on social media that, if go unchecked, have potential to become full-blown mental health issues. And this is by no means an exhaustive list. Number 1, the highlight reel. Just like in sports, the highlight reel is a collection of the best and brightest moments. Social media is our personal highlight reel. It's where we put up our wins, or when we look great, or when we're out with friends and family. But we struggle with insecurity because we compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reels. We are constantly comparing ourselves to others. And yes, this was happening before social media with TV and celebrity. But now it's happening all the time, and it's directly linked to you. Here's a perfect example I came across in preparation for this talk. It's my friend on vacation. BRB nap. Wait, why can't I afford vacation? Why am I just sitting here in my PJs watching Netflix? I want to be on a beach. But here's the thing. I know her very well. I knew this was out of the ordinary for her. I knew she was typically drowning in schoolwork. But we think, who wants to see that? The highlights are what people want to see. In fact, when your highlights do well, you encounter the second stressor on social media, which is number 2, social currency. Just like the dollar, A currency is literally something we use to attribute value to a good or service. In social media, these likes, the comments, the shares, they've become this form of social currency by which we attribute value to something. In marketing, we call it the economy of attention. Everything is competing for your attention, and when you give something a like or a piece of that finite attention, it becomes a recorded transaction attributing value, which is great if you're selling albums or clothing. The problem is that in our social media, we are the product, and we're letting others attribute value to us. You know someone or are someone that's taken down a photo because it didn't get as many likes as you thought it would. And I'll admit, I've been right there with you. We took our product off the shelf because it wasn't selling fast enough. This is changing our sense of identity. We are tying up our self-worth with what others think about us, and then we're quantifying it for everyone to see. And we're obsessed. We have to get that selfie just right, and we will take 300 photos to make sure. And then we'll wait for the perfect time to post. We're so obsessed, we have biological responses when we can't participate. Which leads me to the third stressor on social media. Number 3, FOMO. It's a light phrase, we all throw it around. But FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is an actual social anxiety from the fear that you are missing a potential connection, event, or opportunity. A collection of Canadian universities found that 7 out of 10 students said they would get rid of their social networking accounts if it were not for fear of being left out of the loop. Out of curiosity, how many people here have or have considered deactivating your social? Wow, that's almost everyone. That FOMO you feel, the highlight reels, the social currency, those are all results of a relatively quote-unquote normal social media experience. But what if going on social every day was a terrifying experience, where you not just questioned your self-worth, but you questioned your safety? Perhaps the worst stressor on social media is number 4, online harassment. 40% of online adults have experienced online harassment. 73% have witnessed it. And the unfortunate reality is that it is much worse and much more likely if you're a woman, LGBTQ, person of color, Muslim. I think you get the point. The problem is that in the news, we're seeing these big stories. We're seeing the 18-year-old Tyler Clementes who took his life after his roommate secretly filmed